Hello and welcome to my first video review. Currently reviewing Quantum of Solace for the PlayStation 3. This game it's a pretty average shooter, if I'm brutally honest. It's nothing spectacular, it's nothing really that special. The controls feel really tight, and as most of you will probably know, it runs on the Call of Duty 4 engine, which has proven itself time and time again, and it's just an engine that works, especially for the multiplayer side of things, but I'll get onto that later. Like I said, the controls feel really tight and responsive, the weapons feel quite good. There aren't really enough weapons for my taste that really stand out. It doesn't particularly matter what you use. The enemy AI is pretty average, it's not anything major. They are competent for what they do, but generally speaking they just run for cover and hide and then try and lure you out, or there's no flanking or anything like that. They'll just sit and wait to be picked off one by one. It works for what it is. The single player isn't the main lure of the game for me. The story is very short for my taste. I know it has to be restricted, obviously, because of the need for a film license, and they have to follow the story, although the addition of the Casino Royale sections to flush out the game a little bit really do help a lot with that. When all is said and done, the single player is competent. It's enjoyable if you like first person shooters, but it's not the best game you will ever play this year. It's no Call of Duty 4, or it's definitely and not even close to anything like that that's come out recently. Apart from that, as I've said, the visuals are okay, the scenery looks pretty good, it's nice. There are a few nice touches, like specific levels where you have to do something context sensitive, like the poisoning scene where you have to get to your Aston before you die of the poison that you get from the poker game and stuff like that. But there's nothing really major. It's a Bond game. I know they're going for the new style of Bond where Daniel Craig plays the Bond that's a lot more active and a lot more hands-on, before he really became a 00 agent and really started to stretch his legs and become this suave, sophisticated type person. So for that, it fits the need very well. The context-sensitive parts work rather well. The boss fights, to be honest, are disappointing, and the end of the story is not worth it. You slog through all of the game and you think that you're actually going to see something spectacular at the end, and it looks like the setup for another mission and it just cuts off, which is a great disappointment. But for a game that it's to rent, at least you will get some playtime out of it and you'll get some trophies from it, which is nice. But when all is said and done, it's not really worth the purchase for the single player on its own merits. However, when we get into the nitty-gritty and where the game really has legs, the multiplayer is superb. If you liked GoldenEye in any way, shape or form, you will love this game. It feels like GoldenEye for the noughties, for the 2000s. It's just brilliant. Very enjoyable, good maps. For me personally, at first the game had some lag, but the servers seem to be fixed now and the servers now run great, and the golden gun is back. The golden gun mode is superb. There's loads and loads of people playing online all the time and it just works. It's worth playing just for the multiplayer on its own. The single player is nice for a distraction, but when you get into it, the multiplayer itself is brilliant. For the most part, the game modes are the typical affair, what you're used to seeing time and time again from every first-person shooter that's been out recently, with the addition of 2 modes that involve Bond himself, and they are normally extraction-based modes. One team is MI6 with Bond, the other team are the terrorists, and you have to get Bond to their spawn point to make him escape. For me, I felt these were the worst parts of the multiplayer. They were the weakest modes. They didn't work that well for me. I wasn't a big fan of them, but the regular stuff, the team deathmatches and the golden gun modes, are just worth their weight in gold for me. They are so much fun to play. I mean, when all is said and done, this game it's not for everybody. If you're a Bond fan, then yes. If you're an average casual shooter fan, then yes, you will probably get a lot of enjoyment out of this. If you're hardcore, then you might as well stick to your Halo 3 and your Call of Duties, because it doesn't really compete very well on that playing field. But for the Bond fan and the film buff, which I'm sure most of us are, the game is very well made and very well done for that. And yeah, I personally enjoyed it, but that's about all.